Weather Extra. We've declared your Wednesday and Thursday first alert weather days for the threat of high feel-like temperatures. Those heat indices could easily reach close to 110, but we're on your side with how long we can expect these hot conditions to last.
WBRC Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
But first, a look back at some of the heavy rain and storms as they moved through downtown Birmingham yesterday. As you can see in this video, there was also a few lightning strikes. And with those storms, we've had a lot of images, very ominous looking sky like that, Tania, and those shelf cloud photos. It almost looks like the mothership moving in over the city of Birmingham. Just impressive views.
Yeah, definitely saw lots of heavy rain. And I was just out and about on my dinner break, Wes. Still lots of trouble spots, ponding on those roads. So people need to be careful throughout this evening, too.
Yeah, we've had some more rain showing up around Birmingham. A lot of the rain that we're seeing around the Birmingham area falling apart. What's going on now, and Matt talked about this earlier today, we're in this northwest flow pattern across the state. These storms moving northwest, southeast, and it's still an active storm track, but all this is riding around that bubble of very hot weather that we have back to the west of Alabama. So if you check out the First Alert Weather app, you notice how those storms are moving. You can see right there moving northwest to southeast across the area. So if you are south of some of these storms, just know they're moving in your direction. But really for a good part of our area, especially the northwest corner, we're just not seeing much happening and really not seeing much upstream. But notice how the storms are just kind of popping up out of nowhere here around Tuscaloosa, parts of Jefferson County. And these are severe thunderstorm warnings that are in play right now across Calhoun and Cleburne counties, and also Coosa and Tallapoosa counties. Severe thunderstorm warnings until 7:15 for those storms that are tracking southeast with gusty winds, heavy rainfall, and some intense lightning. I was looking at some of that lightning data, and you can see well over 100 strikes here over the past 30 minutes from these storms. That number does also include some of the storms on the screen back into parts of Georgia. Lightning has backed off the lightning count. It was more intense here around Moody. That heavier downpour, you can see that just looking at the reflectivity, this cell has weakened some, but still enough rain to where folks are having to slow down around the Chula Vista exit. And now Talladega, another heavy downpour moving in. We have hearing those rumbles around Allison Mills, Barclay, Talladega. This is tracking south between Talladega and Sycamore, and quite a bit of rain lining up here. So we really need to be concerned and watch out for some of that flooding and some trouble spots, Shady Grove, north towards Chambers Springs, and again towards Talladega, as that all kind of trains over the same area. And that leads into another storm that prompted the severe thunderstorm warning that's now looks like Coosa County. We've been dropped from that warning that is now over into Tallapoosa County. I mentioned into West Alabama some heavy rain popping up around Coaling and Cottondale, out around Hurricane Creek, and back in towards Alberta City. This is moving southeast towards Duncanville, Centerville, and Eolan. We're starting to see that lightning showing up here, so you need to be indoors. But that is the next big thing, at least we're seeing on the radar. Also another big thing is First Alert weather days that we have declared coming up here later this week. Those rain chances are going to start backing off. That ridge back to the west starts to strengthen, starts to intensify. So that's going to kind of put a lid on the atmosphere, limit the number of storms we see. But with the air staying very humid, very muggy, heat index levels will reach those extremes. So we're going to be talking about Thursday and Friday First Alert weather days leading up to Thursday for those dangerous heat levels. Tania?
Thanks, Wes. And meteorologist Matt Daniel joins us now to talk about how much rain we've seen over the past week and bringing you an update on just how much rain we've seen across our area this year.
We had a lot of rain over the weekend, and we saw similar videos, images of this over the past couple of days. This was in Tuscaloosa from Joyce Evans, showing all that water just spilling away. In some areas, we had some flooding, and of course, when we get even more rain, that can cause some more issues. But of course, we needed the rain, just don't want to see a lot in a short period of time. And of course, the drought monitor still showing drought, but the latest update won't occur until Thursday, so it's not taking into account all the rain we've recorded over the weekend. So we should expect some pretty big improvement across the area, especially south of I-20. I would imagine those abnormally dry conditions would be completely wiped out by Thursday's update. Why is that? Look at how much rain was estimated on radar over the past 7 days. A lot of locations, almost 5 to 10 inches of rain in 7 days. So that's a lot of rain, and that will hopefully get rid of the drought across the area. So how much rain have we actually recorded? Well, check out Birmingham. This is showing almost 9 inches of rain has fallen this month alone, and on average we'll pick up over almost 5.5 inches. So I'll have a big surplus for the month. That's good news. Same in Tuscaloosa, almost 6 inches of rain. In Anniston, over double the amount that you typically see in July, getting close to 10 inches at this point. So let's talk about how much rain so far for the year. So for Birmingham, typically we'll pick up over 33.5 inches of rain, and we still have a little bit of deficit here in Birmingham, almost 1.75 inches. So could use a little bit more to get back to that neutral category going into the end of the month. And then for Tuscaloosa, we actually have a surplus over 2 inches now for the year. So good news there. And in Anniston, definitely a surplus there because of all the rain we've seen, over 5 inches at this point. So we got a couple more opportunities for rain, of course, today and tomorrow, but then it looks relatively dry. We'll be watching that for you over the next several days.
More footage from yesterday's storms. This is from the flooding that was on the Bessemer Superhighway. Police officers telling us they had to rescue someone that was actually stuck in their car earlier in the day. From that point, they were able to direct traffic around the flooded area. And check this out from the Vestavia Bowl. You know, that is the area we always talk about, Vestavia Bowl there on Highway 31. And we often see some flooding in that area, but folks certainly having to move the vehicles and take action as that heavy rain fell. We started to see the flooding there in that location. And of course, we saw a lot of videos from around the region.
Flooding in Tuscaloosa and Northport West, also seeing torrential rain on Sunday.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, we're talking about Dollywood, and that was one area where we saw flooding. I was going to say, Tania, in those areas, you know, you get all that runoff from around all that high terrain. When you're getting 5-6 inch rainfall rates per hour, this is what you end up with.
Yeah. Tuscaloosa Fire Chief West said Randy Smith says that they had to make one emergency call to help a stranded driver on a flooded street. But there were no major issues, and that's the good thing as far as to that person. But he also says the flooded waters are another reminder to never take a risk driving through those flooded streets. You know, we always say turn around.
The biggest one, just what you said, you know, don't drown, turn around. You know, you never know what's in the water. You never know if there's a road under the water. And yesterday we did have a few streets that had some minor damage to it around some culverts. So you never know what's under the water. You know, don't let children play in flood waters or, you know, in rainwater, even though it looks like fun, it could be deadly.
And as we continue to talk about the impacts of yesterday's storms plus today's storms, after a tree snapped and fell on top of a car, our Tristan Rupert joins us now with an update on the woman and baby that were thankfully unharmed.
It really doesn't get any closer than this. Take a look for yourself. The damage absolutely startling here on Glass Drive in Vestavia Hills. This image really doesn't even do it justice. Several of the limbs have already been cut off and removed from the vehicle. That way cars and trucks can get by in this area. Still, I spoke with a neighbor who saw all this happen in real time. She says she was stunned to see someone actually walk out away from the vehicle.
Which was a miracle, because if you look at the car is just smashed.
Mushka Weinbaum didn't hesitate. She invited the family inside her home and they immediately called emergency responders.
I guess God put us in the right place at the right time, that we were able to help them and be there for them.
Weinbaum says they had all the baby supplies the couple needed, as she also has a small child. Still, she doesn't believe her actions were heroic. In her eyes, she was simply doing the right thing.
It's not really heroic or anything. It's just it's what good neighbors do. It's what good people do. It's what we do to help others. And that's really, at the end of the day, I feel like we live in a very polarized time where everyone's at each other's throats and everyone's just, but at the end of the day, we're all just people. We're all just God's people, and we're there to help each other and be there for each other in the time of need.
Speaking of people helping people, a family member of those that were in this vehicle yesterday evening has already started a GoFundMe. If you wish to contribute or to learn more, you can head over to the WBRC News app. You'll find a hyperlink to the GoFundMe in this news story in the hour ahead. Reporting in Vestavia Hills, Tristan Rupert, WBRC, Fox 6 News on your side.
Oh, such a good end to that story right there. But in 30 seconds, we take a quick check on your radar, as well as take you across the nation and the globe to some extreme weather. We'll be right back.
Well, a first alert for some heavy rain storms now moving into the Centerville area. We've been talking a lot about those storms in areas back to the east. If this continues tracking southeast, it's going to pass Centerville, could impact parts of Chilton County as well as Perry County as that moves to the south and east. But a lot of storm photos coming in today. This was from Ohatchee. Wesley Faulkner sharing that from earlier. And look at this cloud here, very ominous looking cloud. That is actually just what we call scud cloud. Many times this time of the year I call them tornado lookalikes. They're totally harmless, but often a sign that you're getting some a big temperature discontinuity, and you do have some strong storms out there. And this was a severe storm earlier that impacted the Baileyton area. Kendra Westmoreland sharing that on my Facebook page. But let's take a look at the out the door tomorrow morning. We'll see these storms dissipate tonight as we pick some locations here. Aliceville in the morning, 75, and we'll head to the north there. Check out Hanceville, 73 in the morning. There will be some morning low clouds that'll give way to some sunshine. It's going to be a hot day tomorrow. Those heat index levels topping 100, but you can see Sulphur Springs, Boiling Springs area around 73, and to the south, Peach Park area there and around Clanton, low 70s there to start the day. But the not seeing rain, not seeing severe storms out there tomorrow morning, Tania, as we check out the neighborhood forecast. But we'll talk more about those storms impacting the area and first alert weather days for heat coming up.
We sure will, Wes. But new on First Alert Weather Extra, check out this footage from our sister station, WSMV in Tennessee, showing what could be a potential tornado. The National Weather Service in Nashville reporting it hit near the Dollar General off of Medical Center Parkway in Murfreesboro this afternoon. They are now sending a crew out to survey that area. Also in Tennessee, at least one person was hurt as flash flooding caused chaos at Dollywood Amusement Park yesterday. Heavy rain sparking a flash flood warning from the National Weather Service. The flood waters turned walkways and parking lots into rivers. And it's being reported that up to 5 inches of rain fell across the Pigeon Forge area as well. A road at the park's entrance also collapsed due to the heavy rain. Dollywood is scheduled to be reopened during the lunchtime hour this afternoon. And as we experienced heavy rain across portions of the Deep South, some West Virginia farmers are going through the complete opposite. They're in desperate need of water for their crops as a record-setting drought sweeps through the state. Daniel Burbank has the details.
I'm really surprised about the currents this year.
The Burdettes are on their way to check the fields.
A little sour, but it's going to be great.
This rain gauge was completely empty during our visit, an unfortunate sign this season. Several government agencies reported this is West Virginia's 12th driest year on record.
It's been pretty extreme. Plus the heat, the temperature, and the high humidity. So it's everything together. So it's like the perfect storm.
Friday, Governor Jim Justice issued a state of emergency because of dry conditions. This now allows the state's emergency management division to respond to drought-related issues.
There's one thing the Burdettes say, and that's regardless of the drought conditions, West Virginians, like this blackberry, are always resilient.
I think it's passion. I mean, you'll find with every farmer that that's what it is. I mean, there's so many farmers, and that's the one thing we all have in common.
Burdette pointed out they've had a record year of sales because of early harvests, but a couple Jackson County, West Virginia farmers told me over the phone some of their corn crops are suffering and need moisture. Burdette says their irrigation system is helping keep the crops alive, but without additional rainfall, this year's grapes and next year's blueberries could be impacted. According to the state's conservation agency, livestock producers having a difficult time getting water in moderate or higher drought areas are eligible to receive cost-sharing programs for things like portable water tanks.
And taking you across the globe now to Paris, where Olympic watchers are battling high temperatures as some games take place outside. Meteorologist Lauren Linehan brought you that extra look on Friday last week as she talked about the possibility for these high temperatures. The highs reaching 98 degrees today, which is a big difference from the rain start of the Olympic opening. Paris Metro employees are now handing out 2 million water bottles at over 70 train stations as a safety measure.
We're being very smart. We have 2 bottles of water, and the water here at the games, the water in Paris, you can drink it from the tap. It's wonderful, and they have all the spigots around, so we're just keeping our bottles full, and it's on a day like this you have to do that because it's very hot. Yeah, no problem. But the games are very helpful with the water.
And French officials are also recommending the tourists not to go outside during the hottest periods of the day, wear hats, bring spray bottles with them outside as well. Well, don't go anywhere. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra. We're going to talk more about a sighting that you'll be able to see in the sky, a space station flyover, when to catch that, plus that full 7-day forecast, and then we take you beyond the 7-day. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. Still tracking a severe thunderstorm over Cleburne County. The heaviest of the rain now is south of Heflin, but you still see that rain impacting I-20 there for folks traveling over towards the Georgia state line. Fruithurst and areas to the south there. Intense lightning, some strong wind gusts possible. Non-severe storms from Talladega south, but it is popping right now. We're seeing some intense lightning around Chandler Springs, Chambers Springs down towards places like Carr Mill. Looks like Millerville areas down into Clay County. A first alert for those storms. All this tracking to the southeast. So if you're down into Clay County, all this is moving your way. This is steady flow of heavier rainfall stretching from Talladega point south. Looks like a little pop-up shower not far from the airport in Shelby County, but certainly some more intense storms now that are impacting places between Vance, Coaling, and Centerville here. This is about to cross Highway 5, so that stretch from West Blockton down to Centerville. Weather's about to be rough as that heavy heavy storm moves in your direction. You can see the rain back to the west. A live look from Centerville right now. It's 91 degrees. It's hot. Our weather watcher Tyler Young just checked in, said west the temperature went from 90s down to 74 degrees. So I mean it will bring a change in a hurry as that rain-cooled air starts to move in. But looking at the setup for the rest of this evening, these showers and storms, as you can see, will continue to track southeast, and then gradually we'll see the coverage dissipate with that loss of heating. That's helping to keep those storms going. We'll keep a mention of a passing shower over far east Alabama, perhaps dropping in from the north. You can see early tomorrow morning the data showing some of these storms to the north. Sometimes in a pattern like this, some of those can sneak in from the north, but the model data is not showing a lot for early in the day. The thing we've got to watch out for is the afternoon again tomorrow over into east Alabama. Those scattered thunderstorms could pop up again, and I think tomorrow chances are much lower west Alabama for afternoon storms. Chances much higher for us here in areas to the east. In fact, this model hardly shows much rain at all for those areas. What's going on? We have an upper level ridge that's centered back to the west. This is what's been driving all that extremely hot weather, the building heat back to the west. That ridge starts to build in our direction. That's why these storms are riding around that heat bubble, moving in from the north. And once this takes over, rain chances back off, and that's why we've declared first alert weather days. The next big thing, that heat is going to build through the end of the week. Triple-digit feels-like temperatures. Will we see anything from the tropics? Well, there is a wave that we're watching, but this would be on down the road the weekend and the next week perhaps. If this system is stronger, there's a chance that it could actually turn north out over the Atlantic. If it's a weaker system, there's a chance some of that moisture could end up in the Gulf of Mexico and impact us across the southeast perhaps early next week, and enhancing rain chances. So certainly a system we need to watch in the tropics there in the long range. Again, nothing organized, but certainly a system that could bring some unsettled weather. Wednesday and Thursday, 2 days highlighted. First alert weather days for dangerous heat index levels. What are we talking here? Heat index up to 110 or even higher in a few areas. So that's it's going to be hot tomorrow. Don't get me wrong. It is certainly going to be dangerously hot over the next several days, but we start to reach some of those extremes, and that's why we have declared first alert weather days. But tonight, when it cools off, something cool to check out. I see you've got the space station flyover map pulled up, Tania.
Oh yeah, Wes, 2 nights that you can actually catch this. Tonight being one of them. A decent view of it. It peaks, or really the best time to view it is at 9:25. You'll have visibility for about 4 minutes. So that leaves you just a long enough window to step outside after dinner before going to bed. It's going to appear west-northwest, so just look in that direction. And another night to catch it, tomorrow night, even better, because guess what? You'll be able to see it for a window of 6 minutes. Look to the northwest. The best time to look is at 8:36 p.m. Now taking you beyond the 7-day as we head through the first couple of days of August, from August 4th through August 8th across the United States. We're looking at a good mix, but here across central Alabama, more near average rainfall as far as our rainfall amounts and rainfall totals. So yes, there will be more showers and storms ahead, but listen, we're going to be seeing the amount that we would typically see at this time of the year. Looking 6 to 10 days out at our temperature outlook, August 4th through August 8th, majority of the U.S. and really almost every spot going to be dealing with above average temperatures, and that includes us here across central Alabama. So we will not just be cranking up the heat this week, but it's going to be a hot start to the school year as well. So make sure you're getting your kids ready. Pack them those water bottles so they can stay nice and hydrated. Don't go anywhere. We'll show your viewer pictures right here. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra. We'll be right back after the break. Oh.
All right, time to check out some weather photos and videos that you submitted yesterday with all the storms moving through. Emma Hall shared some video there of some of the flooding in Homewood.
And this one, Wes, this one is from Mike Bullard, rain over Timberline.
Over the Timberline area.
Timberline.
Yeah, look at that sky there. Brandy Denard, rainbow over Sunny Bear Farms. And they're all Sunny Bear Farms always sharing some beautiful photos there.
Yeah.
I know the gardens and the farms certainly loving all the wet weather.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this one too, Wes, this one's beautiful. Bruce Tisdale showed the sunrise in Pelham. Look at those clouds.
Yeah, Bruce does a great job. You know, he shared the one last week with the plane in front of the full moon. And Ryan Carty, one of our weather watchers there, sharing this sunset over Birmingport, Alabama. And Ryan also shared some of those images that you saw right here on WBRC, some of that flooding down around Vestavia Hills. We got to watch out for that impact, but those rain chances do back off next couple of days.
But you know what cranks up?
The heat.
The heat.
The heat is on. Yep, starting to sing the August blues, and we'll have more on what we're tracking with the temperatures and the rain chances tonight, first at 9.
Package, so that's why we had to like move and shift and yeah.
But if
Yeah, we're